When the Nigerian government announced to Nigerians that they are targeting a $1 trillion economy, many Nigerians, including I myself, we were not surprised at all. Nigerians have heard promise after promise, but the government are dreaming and really want to reach that $1 trillion goal. But the funny part about this story is that there was a 2020 vision that have been made by the same Nigerian government, and they wanted to make Nigeria one of the world's top 20 economies. That 2020 deadline came, failed miserably, and failed badly. So nothing is surprising to Nigerians, even the little kid knows that one. But aside from the negativity I started with, please don't be offended. There are some tactical reasons why we could still reach that $1 trillion threshold by 2030. So in this glorious video, I will discuss why Nigeria could reach there. Nigeria is one of the youngest countries on planet Earth we all live in. The median age is around 18.1 years, and I was dearly glad when I heard that Nigeria has young, agile and smart people who are ready to work and put their all in it. It also means that the majority of Nigerians have grown up with smartphones on their hands, and problems they refuse to accept as permanent problem, because these young people believe that they can make a change without having a godfather or a godmother in the government house. This generation are ready to build things from their home or outside their home, but they really want to build things that people will remember them for. Lagos alone, I am not talking about Abuja, Lagos has nearly 1,000 startups and remains West Africa's strongest startup ecosystem according to the 2026 global rankings. Wow, that is glorious and fantastic when I read about that online. Nigeria hosts 5 of Africa's 7 tech unicorns, aka companies that are valued at over $1 billion each. The fintech sector is rewriting how money moves, how money talks, how money speaks, and how it works across the continent, with digital payment users who are getting higher and higher every year. These are not small experiments, but these are powerful industries. But the real surprise and wow surprise is what is happening in the agricultural sector, because I was marveled and happy as a pure Nigerian. For generations, farming in Nigeria carried a stigma, like people would say that it is only the northern side of Nigeria that can do farming. It has been that way for years, even before I was born. But right now, as I'm speaking to you, farming has moved from the north to the west, to the south, and to the east. I am indeed happy about it. The young Nigerians are entering the sector not with cutlass and early morning prayers, but few of them are going to the farm with data analysis, apps, and proper and standardized business plan that will boost their agricultural business. The government had to even launch a Youth in Agribusiness Land Trust Fund in 2026, targeting over 500,000 young entrepreneurs who are looking to build sustainable farming businesses. Agricultural GDP has grown consistently, and agri-tech startups are connecting small farmers on how they can properly grow their farming business without stress and without trouble. But here is something I will need to tell you, because I read about it online. They are not depending on the so-called government. You may talk about Youth in Agribusiness Land Trust Fund in 2026, but you and I know very well that the funds sometimes can be shaky. So these farmers are trying to get the job done by their sweat, by their money, and most importantly, with their own money. In fact, Nigerians are building and they are building companies. They are growing food and they are trying to create markets. With that type of economic energy, they are the type that survives bad governance and still produces quality and positive positive result. We all know that it is not rosy and blooming as we all see it, but we know that the young people are trying with the little they have. So, my dear, the population is young, they are educated, even though some of them did not go to the university, but they are literate and they are frustrated, but they channel their frustration towards creating something for themselves so that they will not become a liability in the future. This is indeed one of the most valuable assets any economy can have. Nigeria has it in abundance. There is a group of Nigerians who rarely make the news all the time, but they are the ones that genuinely and quietly hold the economy together. And I have to be honest with my viewers, they are the ones that left the country. Let me explain for you so that you will grab what I'm talking about. Every single month, starting from January to December, this set of people that left the country would often send or wire money into Nigeria. It could be that they are sending it to their friends, investors, partners, family, or even their lovey-dovey partners. They send the money out of love, obligation, and loyalty to a place like Nigeria that made them who they are, despite them being in another country. This flow of money is called remittances, and in Nigeria in particular, it happens more often. In 2025, Nigeria recorded $23 billion in remittance inflows, which is the highest in 5 years. So the data is trying to tell you and I that there is more money than the African governments collect in taxes alone, which is not bad. And crucially, most of this money is now flowing through the official banks, all thanks to the powerful reforms in the foreign exchange system that has improved in terms of transparency and trust. I must admit it, especially for someone that collects money from people that are in abroad. This is actually true, and the foreign exchange system has changed for the good. In fact, if you check the domestic side, the economy itself is growing with more consistency than the national conversation often reflects. Real GDP grew by 4.07% in the final quarter of 2025, which is small, but at least it is something, if you don't mind me adding that. Then the World Bank did some predictions stating that there will be a positive growth projection for Nigeria in 2026 by 4.4%, and the IMF have placed Nigeria among the top 10 contributors to the global economic growth this year alongside countries like India and China. So let us do small maths. 4.4 minus 4.07 is equals to 0.33. So in conclusion, 0.33 is a terrible addition. But for a country like Nigeria that have seen hell and fire join together, it is just there and it is something, if you don't mind. Anyway, let's continue with the video. Meanwhile, a sector that Nigeria used to ignore before, they are starting to put their eyes there. I am talking about the solid mineral industry like gold, lithium, tin, and other valuable resources that have been buried across Nigeria's soil, and only few people know about this wealth in terms of the solid minerals. There have been a record of 337% increase in revenue between 2023 and 2025. That made me happy, and I was so happy to hear it. What all this means is that the money has always been there to grab, to catch, and to make Nigeria a better place. Over the years, it simply has not been captured properly due to illegal mining that we have been hearing online, revocation of dormant licenses, and satellite surveillance at the beginning of 2026. All of these signals that the country is starting to take things seriously. None of this means that the work is done. Inflation is still uncomfortable and it is still there. The naira still remains fragile and very weak. Debt servicing is consuming and eating the government revenue despite what is going through your mind. But when real reforms produce real numbers, even though they are the small ones that you think they are small actually, it shows that the machine, despite it being rusty, is capable of running as fast as it can and as fast as it can carry itself. In 2025, the top 10 Nigerian music artists earned over $75 million from streaming alone. Nollywood, which is Nigeria's own, is the world's second largest film industry by high and extreme volume, and it has generated over $6.4 billion in revenue, up from $500 million, which was a decade ago. Nigeria's creative economy as a whole is valued at approximately $15 billion, making it one of the fastest growing cultural sector anywhere on earth. And this happened largely without any single government help. These are entirely driven by young people who decided to tell their stories, their music, and their imagination was worth telling the world about. The reason this matters for an economic aspect is something you should at least understand. The thing is not just about the money that Afrobeats and Nollywood brings to the table or what it generates, although it is very good, like very, very good, but it is about the culture it does to a country's economy GDP. When Burna Boy sells out stadiums in London or in America, or when a Nollywood series streams in 190 countries on Netflix, the Nigeria's brand changes in a big and positive way. And when a country's brand changes, so does its ability to attract talent, investment, tourism, and partnerships. Nigeria's digital economy is on the same path. Revenue is projected to reach $18.3 billion by 2026, which is up from $9.97 billion in 2021. The telecom sector alone now makes over 9% of GDP and is expanding rapidly as 5G and fiber infrastructure rolls out. Internet penetration is approaching 60%. By the way, the internet usage has gone up, and up in Nigeria. Lagos hosted GTEx in Nigeria in 2025, which was West Africa's largest technology gathering, and it shows that the continent's biggest city is serious about becoming a global digital hub and not just an ordinary city that people will just jump and pass. What the creative and digital economy share is something precious and rare. They are built on human capital and they cannot be stolen by thieves. They cannot be devalued by currency fluctuations, and they cannot run dry like the oil well do. Every young Nigerian who produces a beat, writes a screenplay, builds an app, or launches a podcast is adding to the economy that compounds with time.